I do think that it's very, very important for these governments to, at least at a minimum, go back and declare that these 17 million, approximately 17 million undefended civilian workers who had done absolutely nothing wrong before all of their human rights, all of their labor rights, all of their constitutional rights and property rights and civil rights were violated, for these governments to go back and declare affirmatively, definitively, publicly, openly for the entire world that these individuals, they were not a monolith. I know it's tempting to think of them as a monolith, but these are individual people. This is me, this is you, this is her and him. These are individuals. We know nothing about each other. We happen to share certain common characteristics, but we're individual human beings with our own thoughts, our own minds, our own desires, our own wants, our own fears, our own feelings, our own body processes, etc., etc. We're not a monolith, right? And the way that all of these human beings were lumped together and reduced to a label, slave, and proceeded to spend the rest of their lives and that of up to 17 generations of their children for a cumulative 244 years incarcerated on their work sites where they worked without pay, not even one symbolic dollar of pay to this day for them or their relatives, because of the statutory and apparent authority that was given to private actors, merchants, corporations, etc., to basically violate a certain group of people in this way. And then on top of it all, to have de-speciated these people, to literally say, you're not a human being. You are chattel, you are property, you are owned, you are a thing, you're just not a human being. I mean, and these people had done nothing wrong. All of this was extrajudicial. All of this was done without any due process, without any hearing that was given to these individuals, without any judicial intervention, without any governmental intervention, without anybody stepping in to say stop for 244 years. And for me, as a human person who knows what happened to these people, who has been told, irrespective of the color of my skin and my features and where I obviously came from on this planet, I think all people, I don't care what color you are, I don't care where you come from, when you live, what your gender, I don't care your religion. Any human being who walks on this planet and who knows this story has a duty to insist that our governments all over the world correct that record. Right, and this makes me cry. This does make me cry. And I will try to contain myself here. But I think we all have that responsibility. Otherwise, we all have blood on our hands because we know what happened. And for too many of us, maybe even myself, I got this light bulb just went on just recently in my life where I said, wait a second, what? Whoa, this is really bad. This is really bad. And I think all of us have a duty, even if we don't agree on reparations and we don't agree that these workers were entitled to at least one symbolic dollar of pay and compensation for their lifetime of work, and that money by right, by inheritance laws, etc., 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 should go, personal injury, etc., 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 should go to their heirs, descendants, relatives, etc., even if we don't agree with that. we all should agree at a minimum that 17 million human beings, 17 million members of our human family were wrongfully, egregiously, unjustly de-speciated from their own species by our government, every single one of which is still in existence today. Every single one of which is completely and totally and utterly capable of at least saying that and making it a law that you don't refer to these people as anything but human beings. You don't talk about these people being owned by anybody because they own themselves, right? They were 100% human persons, just like you and me. They were part of our human family. And we owe it to the future generations and to every existing person and to all who have come before us who were affected and impacted by this to correct this record. This makes me cry. It does make me cry, but I'm controlling myself very, very, trying really hard. We have to insist on this. It can't just be me calling on my government, calling on anybody who will listen. This has got to be corrected. And it has to be done publicly and internationally by all